You can be on a twin flame journey, or it can feel like it's a soulmate person who you are dealing with right now. You're a sensitive empath, highly sensitive person, earth angel, a starseed, a chosen one of God, a sensitive, deeply intuitive, deeply feeling soul. You can be analyzing a lot of things every day. You're a deep thinker, introverted soul, like I am as well. And so this video, this story video today is for you if this resonates, that you're one of my soul people and you're in this situation which can feel very hurtful. It can feel even traumatizing because we can be dealing with such heavy issues when there is usually childhood trauma involved as well. So especially if you're a woman, a sensitive soul, a woman, empath, highly sensitive woman, and you've already gone through toxic relationships, too many of them typically in your life, because we can usually encounter many narcissistic people. So you have been in relationships with narcissists, and you have wanted to manifest, and you have prayed for a healthy man, a good man to come into your life. You can also be a man watching this and you're dealing with a situation with a woman that you have been praying for a good woman to enter your life and to be your life partner. So both can apply. And because we can be dealing with many sorts of feelings, thoughts, experiences, past trauma, inner child wounds rising up in these situations, because they typically do. Because if the person becomes and feels so close to you, you cannot help it that your old issues are rising up. And apparently, especially men, usually without even having the intention necessarily, but they can end up hurting a woman who they actually love and care about. They can end up like punishing the woman for making mistakes, just normal mistakes, for example. So that is why, of course, healthy communication and respect would be needed. And of course, if it's your twin flame partner, you easily mirror one another's issues and feelings. And it's crazy. It actually feels pretty crazy when you're in that situation. And of course, the inner work is again what's needed here. Even if you thought that you already went through, you already did all the healing that you possibly could within yourself for your life, but then this person comes along and basically rattles you, and it can feel and seem like it's, you know, the person is all that you can think about. You focus your energy onto that person, especially as a woman, towards a man. And of course, if we're dealing with already a traumatized past and you have been the family scapegoat since childhood, you have been dealing with narcissistic parents, maybe your partner, your counterpart has also had a similar past. So of course it's going to be like crashing, bumping onto one another, unless you really become aware of those patterns and start to create a change within yourself. Change always begins within ourselves. Our lives always begin cultivating truly from within. We have that power. We should not be giving that power away to other people or to external sources to make us happy and content. And of course, there's always a time and a place for real life to enter the relationship. So it's not just butterflies and rainbows and just always smiling and laughing and being happy together. Of course, there's also the aspect of dealing with different kinds of, normal thoughts, feelings, experiences. Like I said, trauma, past issues, maybe heartbreak from exes, that you guys should not be projecting onto one another, but it can happen without you really wanting it to happen. Of course, I'm sure that nobody intentionally hurts anyone in these situations, but it can happen that you might end up doing it. So again, of course, a peaceful spiritual practice, I think, is very important, very vital and crucial. How you start your day, what kind of a mindset and energy do you want to send out to your partner, and what kind of energy do you want to be cultivating within yourself, within your daily life? Because there's also the daily life and daily things to take care of, whether this person is in your life or not. So, it's just, it's real life. It's not just a fantasy. So, as much as we want to live in that pink, dreamy sort of life, especially as sensitive women, we also need to remember that. So if you guys are right now experiencing difficulties and issues, I just want to remind you that the more you can just breathe and be letting go, practice the art of detachment instead of trying to control the outcome, instead of trying to control the other person, you get closer to the other person in a healthy way, and you are also feeling more peaceful and empowered from within, which again creates a healthier energy, creates a healthier space for you both to thrive in that relationship. And especially because with twin flames, we can so easily sense other people, sense each other's issues and energies. So every day we have to choose consciously what kind of energy do we want to cultivate and create and attract and manifest in our lives. Are we really truly connected within ourselves? These are not always easy situations, but the more we are practicing them consciously, paying attention to our own health and energy, frequency, vibration, how we are feeling, letting those difficult emotions and thoughts and feelings just come and go as they are, because they are coming up so that we are healing and dealing with them. They're coming up for a reason. So pay attention to the messages behind those feelings and take care of them. Nurture those messages, take care of them. And also, if the other person seems to be pulling back, because this can be a typical pattern, especially when you're a sensitive woman and you're dealing with a man who can be avoidant, who can be immature, for example. Of course, it's your choice if you want to be having him in your life, if he wants to be in your life. Yes, adults, we have to make those decisions. We have to set the boundaries. But, typically a man, like I just said in my short video on YouTube, typically a man needs more time to process, especially the matters of the heart, true love, love issues, problems, relationship issues, problems, and especially because if they have not been going through those before. But at the same time, especially if it's your twin flame partner who is pulling away, who's being avoidant, who is not being in contact with you as a woman, he's doing you a service, because you also get that time, that free space for yourself to be focusing on yourself and your own life and other things. because he needs to take that time. If he's really immature and hurtful towards you, he needs to take that time away from you. He needs to be growing and evolving so that he can come back as a better man for you. That's the only option. There has to be time away. He has to be able to process those issues in his own way. And if it's aligned, he will be doing that. He will be doing the healing work. Because again, a man has to come to his own realizations on his own. You are not his mother. You are not his parent. You are not his caretaker. You are not his free therapist and coach. You're not supposed to be carrying his issues, and he's not supposed to be carrying and taking care of your issues in the same way as a parent would have had to take care of their child's issues, because a child has the right to that, because they have no capacity. But as adults, we have to be taking care of our own issues. We cannot expect people to heal them for us. It's just not happening. So the inner work is what they have to face. So if your person has now pulled away, especially if you're a woman and you are in love with this man, you cannot stop thinking about him. You're waiting around, you're processing like what happened, especially if they just suddenly ghosted you out of nowhere, and you've been experiencing shock and pain and feeling like your heart is broken. They scared the shit out of you, things like that. You just have to work and breathe your way through that pain, because it's a painful situation again. And of course, listen to your intuition as well, because, you know, deep down you will know that he's coming back. Typically men do come back. So he has not erased you from his life. Because you will know the depth of your connection, even if you feel insecure and scared. You're having nightmares, for example. You can always pray and breathe, come back to peace, center and ground yourself, because that is what you need. That is the healthiest choice than to be panicking, than to be feeling scared and fearful, like what is happening, is he come back, was this all a lie, things like that. But you know, if you do you take a pause, you stop and feel the situation out, you will know your answer. But he's likely coming back if he has really truly felt like he truly has been serious about you. And of course, if that person never came back, then you can turn it into a positive and into a strength by affirming to yourself that, okay, this happened, I went through this, I'm still alive, I'm still sane, I'm still here, and I learned from this. This was a learning experience, this was a lesson, that I again get closer to my own value and worth as a woman, that I don't need to be chasing after a man, I should not be chasing after anyone. I'm validating myself, and that is enough. And I can breathe and relax and just live my life, and I don't need to be stressing over somebody, whether they're coming back into my life or not. I can just practice the art of pure detachment. But yes, like I've been saying in my videos before, when I've talked about relationships, healthy relationships, that we need peace. Whether we are men or women, we need peace. And if that peace does not happen, if there is no safety, it's just going to be hurtful and destructive and traumatizing and chaotic. And do we want that? I don't think anyone wants that into their lives, especially when they have already gone through so much trauma since childhood, for example, narcissistic abuse, being the family scapegoat, being bullied, for example. So it's about time that there is peace and safety. It's so easy to panic and feel afraid, especially when you've already gone through enough. You've gone through abusive, toxic, narcissistic relationships and childhood trauma issues. Your parents have been narcissistic. You've gone through so much by yourself. It's a victory within itself to still be here, alive and sane and healthy, to be breathing every day. And I think if you have a true love person in your life, then they should know that. They should know the fact that you've gone through a lot. Likely they have as well. And you have things in common. So it's also very, I think, a lovely thought. And of course, with the right person, you should be able to really breathe and be yourself. You should not be feeling like you have to be walking on eggshells. You have to be afraid and fearful and insecure. You can feel safe. You can relax. You can know that this person is there for you and they love and care about you, and you don't need to be stressing out. You can just breathe. And that is really what healthy love feels like. So let them show you if they come back. Let them show you that they want that with you. And if they don't, it's not a loss. It's only a lesson. As always, thank you for watching, subscribing and sharing, and also follow me on Instagram and Threads. I would appreciate to see many more friendly faces, soul people on those platforms as well. And if you're interested in a one-on-one call with me, then you can, if you have questions, you can send me a few questions on Instagram. I do check my messages from time to time, so you can reach out to me there. Or of course, Threads is also where I do welcome kind greetings and support, and you can ask questions there. So what I do is I offer my life coaching services with my solution focused therapy, and of course also I do readings with angel cards. I work with angels, so if you're interested in a reading,